Hey everybody, Jason Bermas here, and we are joined as always every Monday for Mixed Martial Mindset with John Fitch. Look at those muscles, look at that beard, look at that hair.
Good time.
Fitch, just last night, it so happened that I was late night trying to go sleep. I was on my ESPN Plus that I have to pay for if I want to ever get a pay-per-view or do any of the watching fight night stuff, all that beholden to Disney crap I love. And they had a series on there called Riding with Ronda or Riding with Rousey. I forget what it was. And a very younger, beardless, and topless John Fitch starts the AKA section. I believe it's in episode 3 with Daniel Cormier with a lecture to the group. Basically, I think it was something on distance or of the like. And I just looked at that guy and I go, that guy looks like nothing I do the podcast with anymore. At all. Your hair is short. You look like you'd be jumping out of a plane right now and being in battle in the Ukraine the whole night.
Well, I don't have to I'm not battling and grappling and wrestling and fighting people every day, so I don't have to worry about my hair getting pulled or keeping everything trimmed up tight.
What about the fingernails? Because I noticed that even my fingernails
I just do that anyways. I always keep my nails trimmed pretty well.
Gotcha.
They get dirty. They get dirty fast.
So I got a ton to talk about. We're probably gonna talk about the fights over in London, the fact it was a fight night, that they did go overseas. They had a large crowd. It actually was a pretty exciting card, the way they put it together. And of course, Patty's a superstar. I was a little cringe.
Is he though? Is he? Or they keep saying it, but I don't ever remember anybody who was a superstar needing them to say it as much. Does that make sense?
I get it.
Tito and Chuck and GSP and the Diaz's and Connor, they kind of materialized, and then people love them. And this kid, he's 2 fights deep, and they're just.
I think he's 4 fights deep.
Man.
I'm pretty sure he's 4. I think he's got 4 fights.
Is he 4? Okay.
I'm like, you know what? Let's look him up because he might even have 5 in the UFC. Because he has been around UFC record. He has been around a little bit. I'd say that it's been probably about a 3-year slow push.
I'm not hearing any sound bites. I'm not. Who's talking about this kid outside of the sport of MMA? I don't know. I'm not seeing the patterns.
Maybe you're right. Maybe it is only 2 fights. Is that the real deal? He's only got 2 UFC fights. Where's his Wikipedia? Let's see.
I didn't think it was much because I thought that because I caught that the first time that they were really pushing him. Maybe at a contender series or some kind of weird. I don't know. Was he on a reality show or something?
Well, the conspiracy theory out there that they're trying to push through memes is that he's actually the illegitimate son of Owen Hart from a WWE tour. By the way, I'm not promoting that at all, everybody. So yeah, I guess he's just been in Cage Warriors. He only has 2 UFC fights, and they're
and it's so he was getting similar type of press before his first fight, and I'm just like, this isn't.
Well, he hasn't fought.
And I'm not seeing. I haven't seen any crazy highlights of him doing crazy things in the cage either. So I don't know. A lot of empty words.
Well, I'll say this. You're not wrong. And a guy like Bryce Mitchell, who has earned it and is starting to get a little bit of shine, I want to remind people that guy, I think, what is he? 8-0 in the UFC, or is he 9-0 in the UFC at this point? He's still fighting for 45 and 45. Think about that. He's under 6 figures, hasn't lost, isn't getting the shine, and he's dominating the competition.
They had Timur fighting. Was it Shane Shaker or whatever? 15-0 guy, local guy, and the Timur is. I think 4-0 in the UFC. He hasn't lost in 8 or 9 fights. He's 18-2. He's been doing nothing but winning and beating people up. But he's on the undercard, fighting somebody who's 15-0, who they're trying to push, I mean, do they not like? They just don't like the guy. They don't like the guy. They want to get rid of him. Like he's not promotable. He doesn't speak the language good enough, or what's going on? Like, how does that happen? How does this guy who he had like one draw in the UFC, I think, and it was one draw out of like 8 fights or 9 fights. So, like, why isn't he getting more of a push? And then why are they putting him against the killer that they want to build on the undercard?
Well, you never know what the politics are on the inside as well. You don't know what people are trying to negotiate unless they're vocal in the media. That doesn't happen often. And we're going to talk probably a little bit more MMA towards the end of the broadcast. Before we get into Elon Musk openly declaring war on Russia. Did you see that headline?
Wow, no, I didn't. I saw the fight. He was challenging him to a fight.
Yeah, we did that last week, and I just want to reiterate, I was 100% correct. Ukrainian drones are destroying Russian tanks with the help of Elon Musk's satellites, and those drones are suicide drones. So they are using satellite systems put up by Elon Musk to destroy military drones and targets. That's not war. Okay, so that was actually, I mean, come on.
They're blowing up Russian targets from space.
I mean, well, with the aid of basically the communication system in space that integrates to these swarm-like drones that, again, were predicted in that future strategic warfare document I continue to go back to. And we're actually going to hit that many times today. We're going to be playing some DARPA robot stuff.
Drones,
yeah, well, they're rolling out the cheetahs now. It's not just the dogs. See, the dogs were there to prep you, bro. You got to understand everything
it's cute. Oh, it's a dog. It's a puppy.
Do you remember that car commercial from the Super Bowl where the owner is basically getting to his car, but he's separated not from his actual dog, which are now bad, and Michael Bloomberg is telling you not to give medical treatment to anymore because it's, bad for the environment, and you should also eat lentil tea. Lentils instead of meat. Not kidding. Not a parody there, okay?
Yep.
I mean, it's crazy. No, you have a robot dog, and he's cute, and he's cuddly, and he's your best friend. And hey, John, he'll live forever. He's a robot dog.
Robot dog.
Yeah.
Know how to clean up his poops?
No, it's the best. And don't, listen, you think that's not going to be the move in the next 10 years? We're here. We're in the fourth industrial revolution. We're going to be covering a lot of that information. We're going to be talking about artificial intelligence, okay, creating, are you ready for this, John? We'll show the headline here so we can get into it a little bit down the line. But, folks, you're going to want to stay tuned. You're going to want to share this. AI suggested 40,000 new possible chemical weapons in just 6 hours. That is artificial intelligence moving through what is known about. Remember, what's known or programmed into it through biological warfare, coming out with 40,000 new weapons deployment systems via that technology and concoctions in 6 hours.
So AI brainstorm. How many ways can you kill people?
Let's be honest.
40,000.
For a lot of people out there, that's just a good solid nap. Seriously, like let's be honest, a lot of people out there, they're not motivated enough that they just sleep 6 hours a night and get the day going. We're talking about some people out there, that have the VR headset all the time. And look, I am not at the apex of health right now. I will be honest, but there's not a second or third chin hanging off. Okay, I can move pretty good. And I see these people in the VR and they're huffing and they're puffing and they got 75, 80 extra pounds on their upper exterior that I can see in the video, right? Mm-hmm. And you know what? That's a good segue before we get into the stories and why you want to go check out johnfitch.net, because johnfitch.net has everything where you can actually consult with Fitch and talk about a plan where you can get your life together and even learn some self-defense, John. Crazy.
Yeah, man. We're going to teach you how to be a lean, sexy fighting machine. Women's will love you, and the men will fear you. But, no, I had a good consult this morning with the guy who, who's just ready to start doing something serious. And we squared away, meal plan and eating and just that, No more processed foods, no more fast foods, no more the bullshit, the liquid calories, and then getting people into resistance training and getting the cardio going. Yep, necessary.
So I want to start it here, Fitch. And we got a couple videos we're going to show you. In fact, in the second video section, since it is the Boston Dynamics Samuel Adams beer commercial, again, to prep you for the transhumanist nightmare, we're going to wait until we go off of YouTube because, guys, we're riding dirty. We got 2 strikes over here. They could take my channel at any time. They have 4 times. The last time they hit me, they took 8 videos off, but we're still here. We're 66,000 strong. We've actually gained a few hundred subscribers this month, despite all the censorship. So, look, thumbs it up, subscribe, share. We need people to come in from the cat videos. I get new viewers all the time, even if it's by the handful. I want to thank everybody that's at least made the free account, where we are now on the verge of almost 52,000 strong over on Rockfin, exponentially growing there, where we're going to have, again, the uncensored portion of this broadcast. At least make the free account. Both John and I are on there. John's got a lot of premium material where you can learn self-defense at home, and a lot of other great seminar stuff. And remember, if you subscribe to either of us or any of us, and you do that on a desktop, you get everybody's content. It's $9.99 a month or $99.99 for the year. We are live right now on the Bean. Okay, that is the real deal. We're streaming Bean style. So you could actually, if you had the app, call into the show. We're going to check that probably with about 10, 15 minutes to go. So if you want to call in, I know. Why aren't people calling in via the Bean? So Podbean, get that app. And of course, all the documentary films are free. Loose Change, Final Cut, Fabled Enemies, Invisible Empire, A New World Order Defined, and Shade the Motion Picture. Above all, I want you to check that stuff out. And I want you to verify the information and then share it with other people. That's right. I don't want a nickel from you. not a bloody dime. I want you to understand what the mother truck is going on, because shit is serious when you see headlines like this. New York Times, America has a free speech program, John.
Are people like, is there a way to know like what percentage of the population is buying any of this stuff?
Well, that's what that article is about.
Walking around, I don't see it, but I see the crazy people online. People always post stuff about somebody losing their shit, about masks or something else. But like for the most part, everybody's like, nah, screw you.
Well, let's talk about the heart of this article, okay? Because it tries to be your friend, right? Oh, the New York Times is a source of truth, and we're really for free speech. Yep. But if you dig deep, first of all, you don't have to dig deep; just read it. I actually read things. I know that's crazy. People were like, "Context is everything." I'm like, well, the context on this, number one, the headline is repulsive, and they're showing you that you're going down a dark drain of a thinking rabbit hole. When you speak, like it's got multiple levels here. The only
free speech problem you could have is not having enough free speech.
Thank you.
That's the only one.
Thank you.
That's it.
And listen, they try to frame it in that manner, but then they constantly lie to you about what the issue is, and they make it a right and left issue. They've got the left has to admit to cancel culture, okay? But the right has to admit to misinformation and disinformation that hurts people. So then they even sneak that language in there in this, John, that if information hurts people, not even being misinformation, then maybe we shouldn't have it, in their quotes. Mm-hmm. They also tried to make it racial in this. They talk about actually how black Americans think it's a serious or very serious issue that we don't have as much free speech in this country. But then they say that like 40+% of them think they have more free speech to talk about racial issues. I mean, these are things, again, they try to segregate you. Then they try to make it about identity politics. They use the term equity, of course, in this. And then by the time you get to the bottom, they lie outright.
Yeah, just them trying to get you to accept their language even.
Not only their language. Thank you. No, that's perfect.
Their terminology, their language, like
let's
redefining of things.
I
reject your whole premise.
I'm glad you said that, because here it is. The Floridas Don't Say Gay bill, because they're accusing again the conservatives of wanting to censor books. Now let me say this again. We've covered it here on this program. in a school accessible to children, that is people under the year 18, there is absolutely no reason that there should be a book that not only describes in great detail the sodomy of a child by or against, but shows it in the book, okay, in cartoon fashion. Now, those books, they're not saying we want to ban them from the country. They're saying they don't want them in there. And there's nothing in that bill that says you can't say the word gay. In fact, it is only about not teaching sexual education. I believe it's to children under 10. I'm not even sure it goes far enough. This article is repulsive. It is disturbing. It is disgusting. It uses some semblances of truth trying to act like it is on your side for free speech, and it is anything but, because in the whims of that, if you actually decide to read it, again, it is calling for censorship. It is trying to demonize those who are daring to stand up for your kids.
Come on, you don't have to be such a jerk. You don't need to be such a jerk. You don't have to use those words. It doesn't matter if it's true. It hurts people.
Well,
hurts feelings.
We do truth here at Mixed Martial Mindset. That's what we do. And that's why we're going to talk a little bit right here about what's going on in the automation nation before we get to AI. Because we've talked about DARPA not only utilizing robotics, but for instance, using biowarfare via genetically modified insects. And in their own document, they talk about robots, they talk about animals as deployment systems, as weaponry, all the way back in 2001. So what we have here is the cheetah. Now the cheetah's about to be rolled out. There it is. We're going to play a video later on the other side. Now they're showing you this thing on a wire. Now this is actually the mini cheetah. You can go to DARPA's own website, and you can especially go to their own YouTube channel, which is still up. 9-10 years ago, you could see the massive cheetahs that are going like 30 or 40 miles an hour. I think 28 was where they started, but they got up to like 40 miles an hour. This is the mini cheetah, and I believe it's only about 9 miles an hour. But I guarantee you, if you've been snacking on Doritos all week, or even you're just me, man. Like I like to think I could run, maybe a mile. I don't even know if I could do that, and I'm kind of slender. I'm getting older. Like it's sad. I know I shouldn't even say that. I haven't walked with my, I haven't had actual dogs that grow a human and environmental relationship with nature. By the way, positive things give you responsibility, give you love. John, you have a dog, don't you?
Yeah, I got a big dog.
He's a big old guy now already. What's he like? One?
He's big, about 125 pounds.
Is he 1 year old now?
He'll be 2 in June.
Oh wow!
He still kind of acts like a puppy, but he's fully grown.
That's a beast.
Terrifying, man. I don't know who looks at these things and thinks automatically like, "Oh, cute! This is gonna make my life better."
Well, again, we'll show you how they're portraying it in Hollywood, right? And we'll show you the idiot from Boston. That poor guy, he's probably making a ton of money doing it. So AI suggested 40,000 new possible chemical weapons in just 6 hours. And then the under headline here is, for me, the concern was just how easy it was to do. Now, let me just stop there. Obviously, what they're showing you is what they're allowing to be publicly available. They are not showing you the highest level of AI. They are not showing you the highest level of chemical warfare that they have now been working on in secret for 7-8 decades. Okay? Unit 731 in Japan. I know it's all the rage to talk about Hitler and the Nazis and the eugenics programs there, but they were doing it in Japan with Chinese people that they called logs. None of them got out alive. Those doctors have actually given interviews to the tune of killing tens of thousands of people apiece, and it is called Unit 731. Anyone can look it up. Recently, these documents, and I do mean recently, this was masked from the majority of the world public until about 2017, 2018 to what they were actually doing, John. And you know what? Let's do it live. Let's bring it up, because Unit 731 is a huge deal. This shows you how deep the chemical warfare actually goes. And this is an article, again, it's only 3 years old. The details of notorious chemical warfare division. We don't talk about Hirohito a lot. We don't talk about those kind of camps, do we? Because most people didn't know about them. It just shows you, once again, that history is written by the winners, and even what we see are bits and pieces and long after the fact. These things were taking place in the 30s and 40s. Okay? So again, let's bring it back to the AI. This is what they're disclosing. Let's just read the opening paragraph. It took less than 6 hours for drug developing AI to invent 40,000 potentially lethal molecules. Researchers put AI normally used to search for helpful drugs into a kind of bad actor mode. Oh.
Let's just see what happens. Really? This wasn't.
Just to show how easily it could
Let's
be.
find out what happens when we ask it to kill people.
And that's the thing, man. Like, this is almost cartoon level. Because on one level, you do want people to realize this. But on the other level, anybody who's a thinking human being understands that the Defense Department, not only in this country, but other first world nations, have been doing this stuff behind the scenes for decades, right, John? You know, it's not a coinky dink that DARPA is involved with.
Yeah, it wasn't like we hit a point of human evolution and like all the ruling class and militaries were like, we're going to do things on the up and up and be wholesome examples of goodness.
You know, again, I'm trying to warn people.
War. They're trying to like find the best ways to kill people to win.
Well, I think it's population stabilization. I think it's transhumanism. I think it's the rollout of artificial intelligence and digital currency. I think it's the restructuring of governments into the quote-unquote one world global order that they've discussed. And when I say they, I'm talking about billionaires.
The people talking about it, the people who are actively writing books and talking about it, those people. Not like the mysterious they, because we're paranoid.
Again,
like,
you know, I did a video.
Schwab, who has the Great Reset book, and all his cronies and everybody who talks about doing it. It's not like, oh, you conspiracy theorists, you guys are crazy. It's like, they're openly talking about it.
There actually is a new book by Klaus. Do you know what it's called? It's not really new. We discussed it.
I was just joking about the New World Order stuff. Ha ha.
So this was discussed with Derek Bros, who tried to launch, but launched the Greater Reset Tour and has tried to bring as much attention as possible to this. And basically, on top of COVID-19, the Great Reset. I want to emphasize, it's COVID-19, the Great Reset. His new book is called The Great Narrative for a Better Future. Oh, the Great Narrative. Really in the same place that you say that we live in a post-truth world. And they want to create the Great Narrative where robots are going to help us and we're going to be able to upload our consciousness. And don't worry, you don't have to own anything because everything's going to be provided, not in a dystopia, which is obviously being created, but a utopia that they save us from the dystopia from. Because the dystopia is our fault, the carbon is our fault, everything is our fault. The serf, the peasant class, that's how they look at us, John. And unfortunately, AI is not really being used to empower people, it's being used to enslave them. AI could match fingerprints of texts to their authors under new intelligence program. So let's talk about that a little bit. Basically, the AI has run for so long and the algorithm is so good that they know you so well that they know how you interact on the little magic box, how you do the texting and the social media and how you phrase things and what emojis you use and what gifs you like. The whole shebango. So when you get a burner phone because you realize, holy shit, we're being oppressed and people's bank accounts are being turned off and they're taking my crypto wallet and you try to be Johnny on the spot with a new device, no. Find you like that. Snapdragon, just from the
You're gonna have
text.
to have like regular phone right hand and burner phone left hand.
I mean, I guess. Or you'd have to pick up like a weird cockneyed accent. Like instead of texting, you just cut the text all the way off, and then you'd be talking like this when you hit the play button on a MMS text. Or you get one of those voice changers. I don't know what you do, because even if you do that,
Morse code.
they're going to understand the words you use, even if the inflections aren't there. They're building patterns at a very disturbing level, where this fourth industrial revolution again becomes you. It becomes about you and your social credit score and your carbon use and how many times you've bent the knee so you can get anything in this new society they're building. And it's not in the future. It's being built in front of us, with the help of big media, by the way. Disney closes its Shanghai resort as China's most populated city struggles to come in its biggest COVID-19 outbreak in 2 years. So you thought it was over? We showed you. City's getting shut down. 30 million people. 30 million people, folks.
Yeah, Fauci's been on the road telling people we may have to shut down again. There's no way. I can't see it. How are people going to do this? There's no way.
Well, again, China is the model. Klaus Schwab is on record saying that they will be in the leadership role. In fact, let's do that live. Let's find that little lovely piece of nuggetry. Klaus Schwab, I like to call him Klaus Nut Schwab because that's what he is. Klaus Nut Schwab, China leadership role. Let's see, we'll hit that. Let's go to videos. Come on. Oh, yeah. China to become...
Klaus Schwab, founder and executive chairman of the World Economic Forum, has expressed his expectations of China becoming a responsible and responsive global leader amid uncertainties and protectionist trends in the world.
To see what China as a country which has a strong geo-economic and geopolitical power, what the vision of China is related to the future of global cooperation.
Schwab applauded the many social and economic achievements China has made. He also noted that strategies have been implemented in China to enforce new technologies, such as the initiative of mass entrepreneurship and innovation.
So it just shows the curiosity, the interest, but also the readiness of China to prepare itself, because the fourth industrial revolution will require new policies. It will require what is called in China mass entrepreneurialism.
Schwab founded the World Economic Forum in 1971. Up to now, it has turned into a platform for leaders of governments, industries, and academia to share experiences and explore novel approaches to address global challenges.
You know, that wasn't even what I was looking for, but that's from 2017. That's New China TV. So just
holy Jesus, that's 2017, people. 2017. That could have been yesterday. Could have been yesterday.
Could have been yesterday.
You think
Man, Google makes it tough.
this is all an accident? Holy shit, 2017.
That's 5 years ago. That video was put
Yeah.
up. Yep. So let's see if we can find it on Twitter, because sometimes actually Twitter is now almost the new YouTube or Google for like 2-minute clips. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna type that in to Twits. I'm gonna hit video, and let me see. Yes, I think that this could be it. Yes, I think we found it actually. Is this a different video than what we just did?
So why made you decide to invite President Xi to this year's meeting as the keynote speaker?
We have had a Chinese delegation at this annual meeting since 1979. But what is different this year is that we are just in the midst of a transformation process where we move in the world from a unipolar to a multipolar world. And of course, here China, in this new geopolitical and geoeconomic context, plays an enormous role. So it was very appropriate to invite the president to join us, and he, as the leader of the country, to talk to us about the future's engagement of China in global affairs and the leadership role China will assume in determining and constructing our global future.
Did you just hear that? Let me just stop. That is 2017. Listen to that last sentence. They are in the leadership role of determining our global future. Let's just pull it back one more time. Let me bring it right back to that.
In global affairs and the leadership role China will assume in determining and constructing our global future.
That is not out of context. That is in your face. They are telling you what the model is. That is Klaus Nuttschwab, frontman for globalism, the predator class, and a transhumanist future. Make no mistake. What do you feel about when you see those things from 2017 there, John? And he wants to create it.
Dude. How do you not see the little pieces pushing together? Even if the whole cough thing was organic and happened naturally and they just screwed up handling it, like they still have intentions of using any opportunity that comes their way to force this outcome.
I couldn't agree
It's
more.
terrifying.
And it's not only is it terrifying, people that are quote unquote somewhat awake to this, some of them are of a conservative nature, but they don't understand that as this guy is being built up to be the face of villainry, the people behind him are much more dangerous, number one. And they're the ones truly in control. But number two, they're building up heroes that are also benefiting from the entire COVID-19 84 nightmare. I'm talking about Elon Musk. By the way, we don't even have 100 thumbs up over on YouTube. Let's make that happen right now, because we're going to expose Musk in a way that most people won't talk about. But did you know that Elon Musk, this is moneytransfers.com. This is today. Okay, or I'm sorry, yesterday. He made a 600% wealth increase via his businesses and cryptocurrency market compared to all the other billionaires that we know about, just the ones they talk about. That's Musk at the top, okay? He gained the most. Bezos underneath him, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, Larry Page, and Sergey Brin, okay? Now, if you know Google, you know Alphabet, you know Sergey, you know Larry Page. If you know anything about business, you know Warren Buffett. Bill Gates, about as nefarious as it gets. Now, does anybody think anybody on this list is a benevolent human being? Do you think Elon Musk is your friend? Again, I predicted it. I told you. Elon Musk's Starlink and SpaceX are clear military industrial complex contractors. It's out in the open. We've shown you. They're DARPA fronts. Blackjack is in the air, or Blackjack has a back door into Starlink. And now he's not only picking fights with the Russians, he is destroying Russian tanks with his drones. Why is this guy involved?
The tank smasher.
What do you... John Fitch, walk me through what happens if tomorrow you happen to be in AKA training and Elon Musk comes in and he wants to learn a little kickboxing and wrestling. What is your reaction? John Fitch, go.
Well, man, he's got money. He's going to pay me. I'm going to charge him a premium. But we're going to work on some grip fighting and some hand fighting stuff, because he's going to get thrown by Putin if he doesn't deal with that. Get that jab going. I'm not going to turn a billionaire's money away.
And that's the problem.
Even if it is murderous robot dog money. I gotta feed my kids through the apocalypse.
I hear you, man, but that's the problem, right? Like, you think about it, and he's probably got the best guys out there.
I mean, they know what they're doing. They're pulling the fucking Dana White strategy. Just
What's
keep
the Dana
everybody
White?
poor.
Oh.
Keep everybody poor and hungry, and then you can tell them whatever the fuck you want to do. Make them do whatever you want. That's what they're doing right now.
Man. So when I talk about utilizing weapon systems through nanotechnology, and we talk about the robots, but I also talk about weapon systems that are what? Natural. Why do I do that? Because in their own documentation from 2001, they want to utilize this technology in animals, in rats, in insects as delivery systems and munitions. Okay, think about that, folks.
You get that?
I mean, oh, well, I think bats are more of a cover. But then you talk about the cloud swarms, you talk about the drone swarms. It's all right there. Weapons.
Dude, they're going to attack middle-aged white American women. They're going to create some kind of cat sickness that infects their owners, and there's going to be a lot of lonely older women that are going to get sick.
Fitch, I want to play some videos. That's why I think we're going to go and play those videos on the other side. Before we get going, I do want to remind people I will be calling fights starting Thursday, going through Saturday. That's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night. One night with Jens Pulver, and then, of course, one night with Pat Miletich. CagedAggression.tv is where you can actually get the pay-per-view. Going to be some really fun fights. I love doing this stuff. I would encourage everybody to support local MMA. If you can come out to Davenport, Iowa at the River Center, it's going to be a great time. We'll talk a little more MMA on the other side. But what we're going to bring up next is we're going to show you the idiocy. Like, they're not even hiding it. If you don't understand that they're making fun of you with the Boston guy who is like the new Homer Simpson moron for beer, right? And he just loves the robots. They're wicked. He's going to take a Sam Adams. Folks, we're going to watch that. And then we're going to watch publicly what they're showing you, MIT with the cheetah bots. So we're doing it on the flip. Come over to rockfin.com, ROKFIN.com. If you do want to call in, Podbean is going. But as far as the YouTube part of the broadcast, thumbs it up, subscribe, share. The links are down below. Where to help.